What even the fuck is this tier list shit? Alright, so Arman, my buddy Arman, recently put up a video explaining his thoughts on... Oh, fuck, I'm out of breath. Explaining his thoughts on the new Melee tier list that just came out like fucking 3 days ago. I have a couple of opinions of it on myself, personally. Some that agree with him, some that don't. So, let's just get right to it. Fucking... Alright, so just basic thoughts on this tier list. This one had nothing wrong with it. I don't think we really needed that much of a change, and there's a couple reasons why. First, obvious reason. Fucking look at this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tiers. That's up 5 different tiers, different types of tiers from last time. That's a little bit much. Though I do appreciate the better formatting on this tier list. It does look better without these 2 blank columns. Anyway, I feel like the new, separating these tiers into separate kind of categories of their own. So I think, honestly, I agree more with this, where the top 8 are one consolidated thing, and they aren't like fucking S, 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 A, B, C. I think that this kind of is unnecessary. I feel like it devalues the whole point of the tier list system to the point where it's like, alright, well, why don't we just have fucking every character have their own tier? They'll be on their own level, and that way they'll be super differentiated, and we'll know exactly who's... It's like, why are you fucking... I'm not fit for this. Why are you fucking separating it more than it has to be? It really... I think the biggest problem stems from Fox being SS. Having his own tier... Now, I don't disagree with it. It is a result of a lot of proof of Fox's dominance. Ideally, is the word I'm trying to use. Fucking there's evidence that he's the best. We all know that he's the best. It's never been in question whatsoever. There was never a point in recent time where people were like, "Oh man, Fox, he's pretty good. I don't know if he's gonna stay at the top though." But still, we need to separate it into SS. I think that it's really superfluous, honestly. And it's like, I don't think he really warrants having his own tier. Looking at his matchups. This all information is based off of the Smashboards wiki. So if anything's inaccurate to real life, then fucking blame them, not me. His matchups. He's got the best spread in Melee. That's not even anything. But he's got 3 even matchups, and everything else is good. For reference, the last character that we had on their own tier was Meta Knight, who was on his own SS, same thing. But first of all, unanimously voted first tier. He was without a doubt, he was just fucking number 1. Who even would question that? Whereas Fox's is still kind of like the 1.13 is like, I don't know. But looking at Meta Knight's matchup spread, he has 1 neutral even matchup out of the significantly more characters, like fucking 10 or more. Not 10. That's an exaggeration. But this one, Brawl had a bunch more characters, and the fact that he out of all these characters only has 1 even matchup other than the mirror is that warrants SS. That is ridiculously dominant. That's not even a question. But Fox, even in this smaller sampling size, still has those 3 evens. And obviously there's you have to factor in the hard counters. You have to factor in the soft it's the different levels at which has better matchups. But I still don't think that having even matchups equates to having the fact that he has 3 out of the cast. It's I feel like he's gonna get there eventually. He's eventually just gonna be the only character, basically. But we're not there yet. It's really not. There's no point to this, to having him on his own tier. I think he should still be classified S. Moving on from that, SS. Fucking. It interests me that they split up the top 8 into 4 tiers. Not because I think it's a good idea. Like I expressed already, it's stupid. It devalues the whole point of tier lists. Is because if you have, but it's interesting to me that they did that because it shows that there is or people think that there is a significant discrepancy between these characters, enough so to warrant them being separated from the rest into their own groups. And I can definitely see that for the top 4. Like these guys are nothing to mess with. Like, like you see a good Fox player, a good Falco, and a good Marth, a good Sheik. It's like shit. What do I do? You see like a good Peach at that same level. It's like, well, I mean, manageable. So like there's definitely that factor there of like these characters are the best straight up. But at the same time, Fox is dominant, but I don't think he's so exaggeratedly dominant. And like there's like moving. Okay, so let's just fucking stop talking about Fox. I'm gonna go through the list like in order now because this is clearly my rambling is not helping. So from Fox, number 1, absolutely, that's not even in question. Falco, number 2. There's a joke about him constantly being at, like, starting off at death percent for a reason. He's, as Arman said in his, tier list thing, he was talking about Falco's, like, shit recovery, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. He does not have a recovery as far as I'm concerned, but, like, it's him being second, like, I can totally agree with. But at the same time, looking at, like, Marth and Sheik, I wouldn't say he's better than Falco. But Marth has a case for it, because like Arman said, he mentioned, that he has, like, the range and stuff, and I'll address that later when I get to Marth, actually, but, like, Falco's in a weird spot, because he's definitely, he's not better than Fox. That's known. He has things that can give him the edge over Fox. I can absolutely see him getting closer, having that discrepancy lowered to the point where Falco could be on SS tier, which is why I think SS tier is stupid, because it's like, why even denote his own tier? It's dumb. But like they're more even than I think people like to admit in terms of straight win stats, not frame data, not any kind of play style, just in terms of how often they're, and not necessarily how often, but in terms of, like, top level, how good those players are playing. Like, a Fox and Falco, for the most part, are pretty comparable. A top level Fox and top level Falco. But, like, with Marth, there's something about, like, a top professional player Marth, like your PPMDs, your Mewtwo Kings, your Gods. There's something about, like, a good Marth that's, like, it seems kind of insurmountable. I know I have trouble as a Fox with the Marth matchup. And it seems like a lot of the time there's a lot going on that, like, makes the matchup harder. Because, like, Marth has a lot of advantages over these two. And it's definitely, I mean, they have even matchups for a reason. But at the same time, I feel like with some time, these two might shift. I don't know necessarily how much or whether it'll be significant enough to warrant him actually overcoming Falco. But I can definitely see some kind of shift. Marth over Sheik. Before, Sheik was seeing a lot more, like, prominence as far as votes and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like Sheik's good. Don't get me wrong, Sheik's great. But she just like Marth, she has disadvantages that make like, there's a reason she's number 4 instead of number 2 or 3. I don't necessarily disagree with this change in spots because, again, like I said, Marth is like a good Marth is a good Marth. You don't. There's nothing really. It's a tough match, but I can definitely agree. Like, overall, in terms of just number placement, as opposed to, like, ignoring the tiers for a second, like, number placement straight up, this I agree with. This is fine. Up to here is good. A tier, Jigglypuff got moved down how much? Actually moved up. Nope, same spot. I'm an idiot. I'm thinking of a couple years ago where she was 3. Jigglypuff's decline, actually, from 3rd spot, because, like, if you look, you can see the trend of previous years where it's like, okay, so 2005 early scene, 2006 she went down, which, then 2008, that's when you start seeing people like Hungrybox come into the scene ish. I think it's been a while. But it's like you can see Jigglypuff rising. Like, there's an obvious trend of Jigglypuff getting there to the point where people are like, yo, Jigglypuff's good. She's top tier. And then it becomes like, alright, okay, she's going down, alright, and now she's, like, at 5. I can see her going down in the future, because you're not getting the same amount of representation as your Foxes, your Falcos, your Marths, your Sheiks. You're not getting that same number of people going, hey, that like you like when you hear of a Jigglypuff player, you're thinking stuff like what's like Taj, I think was his name. I forget the guy's name. You're thinking Hungrybox. You're thinking, but like most people that are like somewhat into competitive Melee are gonna be like, oh yeah, Jigglypuff, yeah, that's Hungrybox plays her, and Mango used to play her, and that's like all they know. Like Jigglypuff doesn't get that representation. I feel from like. Again, I'm kind of I'm not out of the scene necessarily, but I haven't been watching as much. I haven't been following as much. I haven't been like as involved as I used to be, and it's kind of like getting to the point where I have like almost outdated knowledge, but not like this new tier list has got me doing some research and got me looking back into it. And from what I've seen, Jigglypuff, like I could be wrong. If someone wants, if I could get pointed in the right direction, by all means. But I haven't seen that representation of Jigglypuff that warrants her staying so high in the tier list, because like. You can go based on a character's, like, just raw stats and abilities within the game, and that's cool, and that's a decent way to look at it as far as how good a character is, but, like, without people playing her and developing her and showing ways that she can be played, like, there's nothing there, you know? Like, you have, like, people like, oh, man, the sick-ass Kirby metagame, that's going up, right? No, it's not, because there's no one playing Kirby because he's so bad. Like, the fact that there's no representation and, like, a lack of representation is a reason that I can see her going down. That being said, I do like where she is. I think it's a comfortable spot. Jigglypuff fits right up in the still in the top tiers, but not quite as dominant as the other characters. And it's really up, depending on who you talk to and how people feel about that, you know, that kind of thing. Peach, I don't have as much reference with Peach, again, because of lack of representation. Like, we recently, not a day ago, but recently saw Armada's more or less shift to Fox, and we're seeing a lot of Peach, like, it's not that they're dropping off the face of the earth, like, it's not like all the Peach players are like, yeah, fuck it, we're just gonna play Fox now, but there's not that element of, like, a ton of Peaches coming into the scene. There's not, like, people who come into the scene, they're gonna see something like, they're gonna see, like, flashy matches with Fox and Falcon, they're like, oh man, I wanna watch that Falcon match, that kind of thing. But there's not, like, again, it's a representation. The B is where I start having troubles. I don't see Icy's overcoming Falcon. His like Falcon's stuff is solid. He's got a lot of cool shit he can do, and his speed and stuff. And it's like that alone, like his in-game, how he's played and his stats and all that shit all is good, is solid. And there's another representation thing where it's like I'm seeing more Falcons out there than I'm seeing Icy's, and even with Icy's, they always kind of felt like me to a one trick pony, because like wobbling. It's like, yeah, it's like the best. It's technically frame perfect. It would be the best thing you could do to win. But at the same time, players aren't at the level where they can get that. Like nobody's getting wobbles 100% of the time every time they play the match, and that would be what I think would be necessary to keep Icy's at such a high tier. But I haven't seen a lot of other tools coming from Icy's, and the fact that that they can go from one of the best characters, like from being a great character to like. If you lose Nana, it's suddenly like you're down here, you're in like the E tiers, you're slumming it with just Sopo. Like, I feel like that should be enough to kind of dissuade people from having this notion that Ice Climbers are so high and so good, because they really only, they're a one-trick pony. They have one thing that they do, and they do it well, and that's what they do, and if it's good, it's great, it's fantastic, it's the best, but it's not enough, I don't think, to keep them where they are. And Falcon has been getting, like, he's been getting some serious play, you know? There's people coming up. We got, Wizzy, we got, S2J, as Arman mentions, like, he's doing shit. But, again, he suffers the same thing. There is representation there for Falcon, is my point. But, like, what little representation there was before, like, it's declining. Because we have people like Hacks who moved from Falcon to Fox, again, not recently, but not, you know, not a minute ago. And you're getting people like that who are moving on kind of from their previous main, because it's almost like a mimetic kind of thing where they see that people are like, man, Fox centric game, am I right? Fox 20XX, la la la, and there's this whole mental shift where it's like, okay. There's people in the game who are like, you know, I should really switch. I should get it. At first, it becomes, you know, I should have a pocket Spacey just because, you know, Spaceys are so good. It'd always be good to have a great character in case for matchups and like in case my character's not working out. turns into, man, I'm really digging Fox, or man, I'm really getting a lot of wins with Fox, or man, I've been seeing people win with Fox, and turns into, I am a Fox man. And I feel like new players that are coming in, not that there's been this whole migration of new players. I mean, there was kind of another spotlight on the scene when Smash 4 came out, but that was a couple years ago now, so it's not... Is it a year ago? I don't know. Fox, like... That's the... Like, you got people looking at Fox and say, like, man, I should play Fox, because Fox is all they're seeing. And it's kind of like... It kind of... Sometimes it's kind of... not exhausting, but it's tiring to talk about Melee, because... A lot of the time, it turns into Fox-centric shit, Like, you'll talk about Marth, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, but Marth's thing with Fox. And then it's like, oh, yeah, Fox. And, like, in the community, like, there's all these jokes, like 20XX and all that, and it's like, a lot, Melee is literally Star Fox the fighting game. Like, Star Fox the Fighters, basically, is what it's turning into. But it's that, whether that's good or bad is up to debate. It's what people think. There's conversations can be had about that. I'm not going to be having them right now. Moving on from that, these top 8... Overall, 7 to 8 out of 10. I'm agreeing with it. Falcon should be higher. These two, again, representation and all that. This I agree with, except for SS. I still find that stupid. And the number of tiers, again, is like, why not? Top 8 should just be S tier. That should be what it is. I don't think, really... I can see it splitting here and becoming top 4, then the next top 4, and then the next 4. And having that be the thing, and that's totally cool. I can agree with that. But it's like, how nitpicky can you get if you're like, okay, Fox gets his own tier, and these 3 get their own tier, and Jigglypuff and Peach, they're not dominant enough, so they get their own tier. I really don't think that's really... That's like, I don't agree with it. I guess that's how the voting goes, and that's how it falls, and what it falls onto, but I still disagree with it. Moving on, we have Pikachu and Samus. Samus, I think, she move up, I think? Samus, yeah, moved up a spot. I can agree with that. I can see Samus in 10. Samus in 10, that's a comfortable spot. I don't necessarily agree with Pikachu being above her. Honestly, that's another representation thing where it's like, oh, Pikachu, who plays Pikachu? Axe. That's it. That's all I know. Like, that, it's that kind of thing where people don't, like, there's not as many Axes. It's Axe. Axe is Pikachu. That's, like, what this tells me is that, like, they place Axe as number 9 on the tier list, not that they put, because I don't see that, I don't see that Pikachu development. I don't see people playing Pikachu as much, It's like, it's not there. It's just not there. So I think Samus definitely should have overtaken. I can see why not. I can see where Samus is. I still think that her projectile game, like, I agreed with Arman, that her projectile stuff was really good. I can agree with that. And she has a lot of she has those unique tools to her. Going down to D tier, we have Doc Mario, who moved down 3 spots. 2 spots. I agree with that. That's fine. I'm not too I don't care about Dr. Mario. I don't think anybody really does except for Shroom, but then he went Sheik, so no one cares about Dr. Mario. Again, Amsa is the only person playing Yoshi. Luigi's Luigi's in a weird spot. I personally would put him above Dr. Mario, but I wouldn't put him above Yoshi. So really, how I think it would be Yoshi, Luigi, Dr. Mario. Personally, that's how I would have organized this spot. Otherwise, it's okay. Thumbs up. That's more or less how this spread should be. E tier. Ganondorf. He got knocked down a couple spots. And I personally think he should be a little lower, because he is strong, don't get me wrong, and there's stuff you can do with him, but there's only like 3 things you could do with him, and the strength only goes so far when you're one of the bigger characters, one of the heavier characters, one of the more easily gimped characters. It's kind of like he has all this stuff stacked against him, and it's like all the things that he's bad with dealing with, like projectiles, gimping, all that, that's all stuff that the top tiers are fantastic with. It's like, why is... I genuinely don't know why Ganondorf is... I guess because he's got stuff like, he's got some players behind... I don't know. I personally think he's lower. Mario, whatever. No one cares about Mario. I put Young Link above Mario. Like, Arman said that, I think. I agree with that. DK, I don't think anybody knows about DK. I don't think there's even a DK. Green Ranger. There is a DK player. I'm an idiot. I wouldn't put DK above normal Link, though. I think Link's projectiles put him just a tad above DK. I don't think DK's really got anything that warrants him being above any of the Links. But I definitely think that Toon Link should be here. I think it should be Mario, Toon Link, Toon Link, yeah, Young Link, Link, DK, and then Ganondorf should be somewhere around here, a little bit lower. Again, it could be, I could just be mistaken. I could just not be watching the same matches that everybody else is watching. But I personally, I don't think Ganondorf's really getting that. Like, he's not getting that kind of playtime. He's not getting the development that he really needs to become higher than where he was. Like, there's a reason he went down. You know, Game & Watch went up, which is interesting because I feel like from here or here onwards, like 16 down, I really don't think these tiers matter. And I feel like these shifting around is more a result of people just forgetting where they placed them last time. I can see Game & Watch having come up a little bit, but I don't see why. I can get it that people would think that he is better than the rest of these because the rest of these are god awful. But I'm not understanding Game & Watch in particular is the one that people are saying. I mean, again, it could be matches that I'm missing, but I'm not seeing that Game & Watch stuff that's really sparking the interest and make me say, oh yeah, he's getting up there, he's getting up there. Roy, whatever. Mewtwo's whatever. Zelda is fine where she is. I don't think anybody's really whining about Zelda's placement. Ness, we have some sick development from Jim Jam Fun Plan. Honestly, Ness should be above all the rest of these, but that's just, personal opinion. Pichu is a unique situation. Because it's like... It's fast Pikachu, to my knowledge, to what I remember, he's faster. I'm not 100%. But I think he should be at least higher than characters who have nothing at all. Because at the very least, he's got that Pikachu-esque moveset, and he's got that Pikachu projectile. I think that should put him at least above Mewtwo, above Zelda, maybe. I don't know. Again, it's another kind of like a nothing thing because he really, in the grand scheme of things, who's looking for those Pichu matches? Who's getting that Pichu development? Bowser, again, whatever. And Kirby, I feel like if Kirby ever moved higher than 26, I wouldn't want to play Melee anymore. I don't think I'd be comfortable with Kirby ever being any better than bottom, honestly. Because it's funny. It's just funny to me. I love it. I love it. So that's my thoughts, just in general. Overall, yeah, it's a tier list. It works. It's more or less a lot of the stuff I agree with. Don't agree with the splitting up of the top to be so specific. I can see why. I just don't get what motivated them to do that. I feel like it was fine as is. I am vehemently against Fox's placement as SS. I don't think he will get there. I do think he's the best character. That is not an argument whatsoever. I don't think he's so dominant as to put him above that. I think that's more a result of him just being in every match as opposed to him being the best character. Like, I feel like he hasn't earned it yet. I feel a lot of this tier list makes me think that it's a popularity contest more than an actual, let's look at these characters and analyze what they've got and go with that. So I think Fox really doesn't need his own tier. I think top 4, S tier. That'd be fine. Next 4, A tier. That'd be fine. Next 5, B tier. No, next 2 would be B tier. Samus and Pikachu can be B tier. C tier down to Luigi, and then D is everybody from here to like here. F, and the fact that they added G is hysterical to me. Like, it's just so far below F. It's pathetic. But that's it. That's my thoughts on that. Now this is intended to be a response more to Arman than it was supposed to be like my own analysis, because I personally, I know I don't know everything about this game, and I know that I'm missing a lot of matches, and I'm not seeing as much as everybody else. So I maybe there's decisions here that I disagree with, that other people, that like everyone else is like, no, but this, and that. Like, Jigglypuff staying at 5 despite not having as much representation. Like, DreamHack recently was a thing. Hungerbox took that, and I'm really happy for him. That's great. But again, that's one tournament out of all the other ones that have happened where there hasn't been any Jigs representation. It just kind of, a lot of this feels like the gods carrying the characters up to that tier. It doesn't feel like so much that these characters are actively better, or at least not as much better as everyone is thinking. Just that they are being very, very well represented. A lot of the thing with Fox being so good is like he has the most players. I believe. I'm not, again, not. This isn't a hard, fast statistic, but he gets a significant amount of players. So, like, statistically, he would get numerically more better players as opposed to the other characters. Percentage-wise, maybe not. Like, maybe it's the top 10% of Foxes are actually competent with the character, but that 10% is more than 10% of Falco players. Is more than 10% of Marth players. Yeah, so that's that. That cut was for reasons. So, back to the it was supposed to be a response. I wrote down notes while I was at work of stuff that, while I was watching the video, stuff that Arman mentioned and things that I thought. So tier list. I realized that the too many tiers thing is devaluing the system. I mentioned that already. I think we both agreed that double S tier was kind of a dumb idea. There was a notion that he said where Falco in some cases can be better than Fox. I tentatively agree in some senses. I don't think he's actually better. I do see his matchup being significantly more even than it looks like right now, and I do see his placement being closer to Fox than it is right now. I don't think he is quite at that same level, though. He's definitely like a half baby step down. And I think at one point he mentioned something about, like, with Fox, like, to actually represent Fox being the best character, you have to be really technical. That's just a fact. Like, that's not even up for debate. I think of things to say to fill up space. I think Fox specifically is, like, that technical character. Like, Marth, he doesn't have anything like wave shining. He doesn't have double lasers. He doesn't have any. He has wave dash, wave landing, L cancels, and combos. He doesn't have that specific stuff that makes him technical. Falco has some stuff. He has his pillaring, he has his lasers, he has all his kind of stuff. But again, high-tech Fox is required for the legitimacy of showing that he's SS tier, that he's top tier. SS is stupid. I think more so than Arman does that Falco's disadvantages warrant being number 2. His easier death. The fact that he can go down easier and faster than Falco can, than Marth. What am I saying? That Fox can. I think that warrants him being number 2. I don't think that he's really that players or the character's actual data like shows him being any worse or any better than 2. I don't think he's ever really going to budge from that. I think honestly at this point this tier list is pretty representative of what the future tiers are going to look like unless there's some kind of massive breakthrough with one of the middle to lower tier characters. But I feel like Falco's disadvantages definitely warrant his placement. Marth over Sheik. That is something that we both strongly agree with, because she's got stuff. She doesn't have the same stuff Marth does. She doesn't have the same ease of access that Marth does. She is easier, I think, than Marth, but I don't think that relative difficulty, like, I don't think that really is enough to put her above Marth. So Arman said that Marth and Fox should be both SS tier if there's gonna be an SS tier. I think my thoughts on Falco already show that I don't believe that they should be on their own thing. I already disagree with SS tier, and I don't think Marth really has the thing, because he mentions frame perfect Marth being able to stuff approaches perfectly, but he forgets that with the projectiles of number 1 and number 2 over here, with their projectiles, frame perfect play, meaning actually like tool assisted play, means that they could they could just camp with projectiles and perfectly avoid everything Marth's doing. And even conceptually, while Marth has those strengths that should make him better, the fact that he doesn't have a projectile and doesn't have a reliable way of dealing with projectiles means that he, like, it's not how it would really happen in real life. At least I would hope not, because then we would brawl. But you could just time him out. You can just wait till the end of the match. If you're at both at 4 stocks and you hit him with 1%, tool assisted, frame perfect, he could just avoid him. Foxy just avoid Marth the whole time. Same goes with Falco, and really same goes with any projectile character. But that's why we don't use tier lists based on frame perfect play. We conceptualize that frame perfect play would lead to this character being here, but frame perfect play is like, it kind of neutralizes the tiers in general, because if both players have perfect reaction, then it comes down to really who has the fastest projectile, and that become Fox, because then it's just a game of points. Ignoring the frame perfect argument, Marth is really not, like, he's fantastic for sure. He earned his spot, but he's got lower survivability, arguably, than Fox. His recovery is just as, if not easier, to Gimp. He's got, he's floaty. He can easily be launched upwards. He's just got a lot of stuff that's, like, angled against him. I can see him overtaking Falco in the future. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I don't think he's really earned it yet. I already mentioned about Jigs and Peach's representation. I think he mentioned something about Peaches being technical, or, like, I think that the better word is specialized. Because, again, with every character that you play, you gotta have that character knowledge. You have to know what you're talking about. Like, when you play Fox, you gotta know how to shine. When you play Falco, you gotta know your pillaring. That kind of stuff. Wave shine, rather, when I said Fox. Peach, she's got weird stuff. And you gotta, like, Peach players, I think, more so than most other characters, Peach players and sometimes Ices, like, their character knowledge has to be much more in-depth to be able to land the combos and the hits that they need, especially Ice Climbers with their wobbling, needing to know the exact frame and how to desync and all that. Like, all that stuff is kind of, you know, which is what I think of it. Falcon, we both think should be bumped up. I don't think Falcon really deserves to be at 8 for all this time. I can see the argument that he's the worst of the best, but I don't think that he really deserves to be under Ices. I don't think Ices really haven't proved themselves, so to speak. Again, this is just my opinion. This isn't based on any full facts and stuff. What was I here? I've seen even less Ice Climbers than Jigglypuff, and less than Peach for sure. I feel like, again, this comes back to representation. A lot of this comes back to representation, where it's like, I'm not seeing those Ice Climbers. I'm seeing Wobbles. I'm seeing Fly Amanita. I'm not seeing anybody new. I'm not seeing a bunch of new people coming in playing those sick Ices, showing us their cool Icy tricks. And I feel like Falcon has he has significant anti-S tier advantages and, like, tools that he has that are really very good. His grabs, obviously, his all like, Arman already surmised a lot of this. I'm gonna link Arman's stuff in the description. He's really he needs to go up. Falcon needs to go up. Samus and Pikachu, I agree with Arman with the switch. I think Samus's more potent projectiles and Pikachu's lack of a significant representation really shows that Samus should really have pulled ahead. And I don't really care about Dr. Mario and Mario. Like, if we're being fully honest, I kind of blank out after C tier in relation to this tier list. I kind of, like, from Dr. Mario down, there's literally seriously not enough representation. Like, for the other tiers, I mentioned a lot, like, Jigglypuff isn't getting represented. When I say that, like, Dr. Mario and downwards aren't getting represented, they're really not. There's no one playing Doc. There's no one playing Mario. There's no one playing Roy, except for, like, Seth Long, but he doesn't count. You know, and shut up. You know, and he, yeah, it's just not there. It's just not there. It just doesn't matter to me. Yoshi, I think Yoshi has some stuff that should bring him a little bit. Like, I almost think Yoshi deserves to be in C tier with Samus and Pikachu, because if Pikachu and Samus, with what they have and what they're doing, with their advantages, I feel like Yoshi really deserves a better spot. It's just, you know. Neither of us really know much about DK enough to warrant him going anywhere. We both mentioned the Game & Watch bump. Mewtwo Arman thinks that Mewtwo, his throws and his aerials warrant him having better placement. I don't think they do. I think Mewtwo really deserves to be where he is with his floatiness and the fact that nobody plays him. I already mentioned my Pichu bump, and then that's it. That's the whole shenanigans. That's the whole taco. That's all we got. If you want to see Arman's video, I'll post his channel in the description. I'll post his video in the description. I'll post links to the tier lists, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You can expect more content in the future, probably mostly melee stuff. If I can get netplay going, you're gonna see a lot of netplay matches, but that's gonna be probably in the future. That's not gonna be right now. And overall, I gotta say this tier list, solid 7 out of 10. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's going to be exactly what we get in the future. I don't think that this is going to be the end-all be-all of tier lists, but I do think it's representative of future tier lists, and I do think it's going to be very similar in the future. That's it. That's all.